Hello and welcome to another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos, D&D podcast set in the world of Fierlor. Quickly before we jump into things, do we have any plugs?
Yeah, I take art commissions. I'll probably be taking it when this is going, so you can find me on @Fierlor at Twitter or Fierlor Art and Cosplay on Facebook.
Yes. Okay. And very, very good art coming from those commissions. So, yes. Yeah, as usual, there is the Patreon and the Redbubble if you would like to support the show. Hopefully we have some stuff, new stuff coming through those. There's constantly new stuff going on the Patreon. We have the session notes as arcs kind of wrap up. There's monthly homebrew. Next month there will be there'll be something coming out in a couple of weeks. I still need to confirm what it is. But
here's a reminder that if you enjoyed such iconic scenes from the last session as the majority of Ross's damage being from peas, or power word krill being something that could have happened, you can become a $10?
$10 is the encounter. Yes.
Have an encounter of your choice.
Yes.
And to give us fun things like the Wand of Wonder that was provided by my dear friend and our Patreon, Jessie, aka Spoons.
Yes.
So get on it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And you can also come chat to us on Discord.
Yes.
On our Patreon only channel.
Okay. All right. So, unless someone else has something to plug, let's jump on into another episode of Wyverns and Weirdos. And we're back. So, where we last left off, the party concluded their battle against Dread Magister Zath, which concluded with Bertie banishing them off to some demiplane of which has the sole purpose of holding banished creatures, while the party prepared a group kill, basically, culminating in essentially Rook beheading Zath. And that was pretty much where we left it, with Anya kind of storming off further into the orchard from the main group.
So I guess Anya, as she briskly walks off, she'll get to the end of the orchard, prop herself up on a fence, and she starts cleaning her sword, really quite diligently.
Ross is going to, because she was neck behind Sam when this all happened. Good sweet boy Sam. So she is going to walk past him and just kind of awkwardly just tap him on the shoulder and just look at him and be like, "Give me 1 second." And then she's going to walk over to where everyone else is kind of clustered around Zath. And she is going to put 2 fingers to her neck and use thaumaturgy, not to boom her voice out, but just to make sure Anya can hear her.
Yep.
And she's going to get this really kind of determined look on her face and say, everyone, I know we are hurt and we are hurting, but we need to take this moment to reflect on what we just did. We won. This was not a fight we were meant to win. This person is one of only 8 Dread Magisters in all of the Wizards of the Ruins. They were one of the most powerful beings in the whole organization, and we defeated them. There will be a time for regret and reflection. Allow yourself a moment of triumph amongst it. For this creature who deceived and cheated and tortured and maimed countless people from my home, the rest is silence. Allow your victory to be loud. And she's going to turn it off and kind of look like she doesn't quite know what to do with her hands. And then she's going to look at Bertie and just be like, I need to go talk to Sam. Will you be okay with everyone else while I...
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I think you two have a lot to talk about.
Give me a yell if anything happens.
Yeah, I will. It'll be good now. They're dead now, so it's good. I hope it goes well.
Yeah. And then she's going to look over at Sam and kind of gesture with her head to kind of go to the alley next to the tavern. And then walk that way, making sure he's following.
I just do want to say that whether or not Ross pays any attention to Anya, or any of you are paying attention to Anya, Anya doesn't look up or acknowledge anything that's been said.
Brooke has sort of been like crouching down beside Zath's body, and she's kind of breathing heavily and like an unreadable expression on her face. And then she just stands up and she goes like, damn right, we won. We took out this piece of shit. Ain't gonna bother anyone again. And then she like kind of kicks the head away a bit.
You do note that like she is wearing your clothes, your equipment. Or
Yeah.
they are rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neumann is sort of in a similar sort of vibe. He's giving off a similar vibe to what Anya is as well, as if like he did hear it, but it hasn't affected him whatsoever. He's been sort of like one-track minded right now, and all he's been doing is, I would say, probably aggressively rummaging through Zath's like attire, trying to find anything like especially to do with the Wizards of the Ruin on them.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
With pleasure.
In the meantime, Caius and Bertie, what are you two doing?
Caius is sort of standing there because he was initially behind where Zath was going to reappear. And he had his longsword raised and then very slowly sort of dropped it back down to his side, seeing that everyone else was very invested in this and he didn't want to sort of get in the way. Also, there was something else, but yeah. Caius is still sort of fading in and out a little bit, but he does take a couple of breaths and centers himself, and you can see him sort of fade back into the present, if you will. And he'll take a couple more breaths and look around, and it's the first time that he's actually looked at everyone this fight, really. And he's going to see if anyone is like severely wounded.
Well, so Bertie had his arm slashed open pretty much very recently, but the energy from his unstable arcanum sort of healed back most of his health, but not quite, and incredibly rapidly. So I imagine like there's like lots of like blood all over like his entire sleeve and like across his body, but like his actual arm, I can't remember which one it was, but like along his forearm was which was like, while he was sort of trying to also focus on the banishment spell, was kind of like burning away, like like as the magic in his blood reacted to it, and it's kind of like really messily sort of congealed and it's looking pretty angry and red still, I imagine. And I also imagine like while it didn't completely break it, there'd be quite a deep cut that lines up with that running along the bracer of panache on that arm. And Bertie himself, I guess, very gingerly shifts that hand and looks from his the moon staff to the sword, and then much longer he'll look from Neumann and then to Caius. And even if like either of those characters are looking towards him, he doesn't quite focus on that. And then he looks, and then after that moment, he kind of looks down at himself and his brow furrows. And he was already, I think, as well, when he was casting Vanishing Smite, that sort of ice was again starting to like form on like the tips of his ears and his hair and stuff again. And it kind of like starts to crackle a bit further up his arms and into his hair. And then he kind of like just takes a conscious beat and then just sighs and sort of straightens himself up, while the little mechanical armor dragon wings fold up into themselves that just comes with his armor, I guess. And then yeah, he kind of just like puts the falcon and the moon staff up against the doorway that he'd be standing next to anyway. He kind of like looks in the direction where Ross was like, hey, let me know if there's any like trouble or whatever, and then just kind of like sighs again and then sort of trudges back into the inn while like the ice kind of walks with a little puff of flowers again and then recedes, I guess. So he walks back into the inn, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, is there anyone aside from Bertie or Ross or Anya who is hurt?
Rook is, Rook has a really big like wound on her leg, and she's limping quite heavily, and she's probably like lots of like bruised and battered, and there's like congealed blood on her, old and new blood on like the tattered clothing that she's wearing.
And Neumann also, there's no like real bad sort of marks on him or anything like that, but you can just tell from the way he's moving that he is also quite injured as well. Probably not as bad because it's not as visible, but you can tell with his movements that he's hurting.
Okay.
Caius is going to go up to both of them individually and just sort of check them out and, just be like, oh, well, that looks incredibly painful. I don't have much to help, but I might be able to. And he's going to like put a hand on each Rook and Neumann and heal you 12 hit points each.
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
Through the power of love and religion.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
I'm used to it, but thanks. That's a little better.
What was Newman's investigation check?
Yes. Neumann, your investigation check, please.
So I originally rolled a 30, but then I used my luck blade and rolled again and got 38, which was a natural 20.
Okay. So, Zath has the following on them in a little... you wouldn't have suspected it at first. It looks just like a regular pouch. But the pouch itself is like a miniature bag of holding. It doesn't quite have the same capacity as a full-size one, but it is... it's used as basically a coin pouch. And it contains a lot of coin, or at least coin substitutes. So there is 100 silver pieces and 500 gold pieces in coin.
500 gold?
Yes. but there is also 10,000 platinum pieces in trade bars, 5,000 gold pieces in trade bars, and 10,000 gold pieces in worth of various gemstones. There is also, that you find on their person, a platinum and gold cameo of the wizard's insignia.
That is precisely what Neumann was hoping to find, actually.
Alright.
So after finding that, he does pocket everything, not trying to hide it. If anyone were to maybe check, he has every intention of letting everyone know, but just for now he's going to pocket everything. He might keep the insignia in his hand and stare at that for a bit, and then he'll like stand up and turn to Caius and be like, thank you, Caius. Thank you, everyone. I think I really needed this, and it's good to know I can rely on you guys, especially for something that I thought wasn't really that possible. And you guys came through with flying colours, actually. That wasn't an easy fight, but we did okay. So I'm really happy with how that worked out, but I think I may need a bit of time. So if anyone is looking for me, I think I might go back into the tavern now. And he will throw the mini bag of holding to Bertie, if Bertie's nearby. No?
It's just Rook and Caius.
You already left.
Just Rook and Caius? Well, he's going to throw it to Rook then, sorry, my bad. And then he'll say, this isn't something I can really cope with at the moment, but if you two could maybe have a look at that and see what you want to do with that, I think I just need some time alone right now. And yeah, if no one stops him or anything, he's going to go back into the tavern.
Caius is really quickly just going to be, Neumann, I know this meant a lot to you. I don't really know the extent, and I don't really need to know the extent, but you can have as much time as you need, and just know that when you're ready, we'll all be here for you.
Okay, well, thank you. He says with like a semi-sincere smile. And yeah, and then he'll just turn away and just walks pretty casually, with less of a limp now, towards the tavern. And goes inside.
Anya, from the other side of the orchard, she casts a mage hand to give Neumann a little pat on the back. It'd be visible and he'd be able to recognize it as hers. And she, from her position, like does a little, she doesn't turn to face him, but she does a little wave as a like, we'll speak later. You did good.
What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? Does that uses a slot? Oh no, he can use that. Neumann is going to cast Silent Image, and he will then mimic the same thing back to Anya. You won't be able to feel it, but you can see it. And the hand does say Neumann on it.
Yeah.
In classic fashion. He sort of pats me on the back and then gives you a thumbs up, and then he goes back into the tavern.
You wouldn't be able to see this, but she does smile at that, which is the first smile she's had since the fight. Because she's still facing the other way.
Alright.
Perfect. Well, Neumann makes his way and exits stage left.
Meanwhile, in the alley.
So Ross, like, she's standing in the middle of the alley and she just waits to see if Sam is gonna like stand or sit or whatever, and she keeps moving between like her arms crossed and then like down by her sides and then like picking at her hands, and it's all quite fast. Like this is very that borderline frantic kind of thing, and she's kind of shifting from foot to foot, which is uncharacteristic for her. And she's gonna look at him and be like, "So you're here?"
For now.
Yeah, I guess question one, how long can you be here for?
I can't stay for too long if I'm going to play damage control and try to
But we're not talking minutes, are we?
I can stay a little while if necessary.
Okay, I can work with that. I'm kind of is this as weird for you as it is for me?
Which part of it?
Any.
A little.
Thank gods. Oh, I thought I was losing my mind. And she just looks at him and kind of just laughs a little helplessly, like, look at us, huh?
It's something, isn't it? And he's gonna look at you, take note of your wounds, and he's gonna reach a hand out and cast Cure Wounds at a 3rd level.
Oh. How much does he heal me?
So that is 22 points.
Oh my god.
I rolled fairly well. An
Okay.
8, a 7, and a 3.
Cure Wounds is touch, isn't it?
Yes. So hand on the shoulder.
Okay. She kind of just... She goes really tense for a moment and then just kind of breathes. And before he can move his hand away, she's actually going to reach out and grab it and hold it. And then go, well, I have a lot of questions. And depending on some of the answers, I feel like you might have a couple too.
I think that's fair.
So, I guess I don't, and she lets his hand go, I don't know, do you want me to just ask you a bunch of questions and you ask me a bunch of questions, or I ask one, you ask one, like truth for a truth?
We'll see how it flows.
Okay, that's chill, it's just improv, isn't it? Yeah, no, oh. Okay, I guess the first question is, how long have you known about the Concord?
Trying to think. In the vicinity of 4 years.
Right. At any point, did you know I also worked for them?
I had been told, yes.
When?
About a year after I had joined and been trained up.
And you never contacted me?
My mission didn't exactly allow for that.
What? No time to send a letter, a cryptic note, skywrite? Nothing? 4 years?
I would have loved to, but anything would have been a risk. The wizards were already closing in on the peninsula by the time that I was sent across. There was a worry that anything sent back would potentially be caught by the wizards.
Not happy about it, but I get it. But not even... Sure, you work for Drakkar.
Yes. Among others.
Nothing through... Didn't you have to report to him? I always have to report to him.
I had limited contact through sending.
Fine.
And it's only so many spell slots to report, especially when you've got to go 25 words at a time.
Oh god, it's the worst, isn't it?
It is horrid.
Well, you were never particularly long-winded. But missions, I guess, not.
Try doing daily reports of all the goings-on of...
God, I just have to do their galas, and it's the worst.
Oh, those things were always so stuffy.
They're so bad. Oh my god. Do you remember back in college those parties that like the design bards would throw? Oh my god. Worse than those, weren't they? God, at least at those ones you could spike the punch.
They were so pretentious.
Oh my god, right?
In that way that only students can be.
I know! They all thought they were so much better than us because they're not traditional bards. They're not doing song or acting.
Like is the whole less is more lesson like in the last year of their learning?
You can't say that.
Can't I?
Look at me. Do I look like I learned less is more?
No comments.
Well, speaking of less is more, and she kind of kicks his shin a little bit. What's with those?
Oh.
I've been to those galas. Those are not standard issue, sir.
Well, if rank comes with some privileges. I've managed to get pretty high up by playing my part. And actually, I really should have used these in the fight. Wouldn't have done too much, but it might have sped things up a little.
The smile she had during all the joking kind of fell away. And she's like, I forgot you were a high commander.
Yeah.
That... She looks down at the ground. You know, I don't know if you did this at any point, but in kind of the 4-year gap, I did wonder what happened to you. And 4 years is a very long time to think of every scenario, and I did wonder if you had ended up with the wizards, by choice or not. Rank never really came into it, because to get rank, you often have to do things you can't take back, don't you?
Usually. Though You remember how good my memory is?
Yes.
So... I worked out something. And it's something other mages and bards have learned how to do in the past. But before I was sent out on the mission, I developed a way, or my own way of achieving the modify memory spell. It's not the greatest thing, but it's a lot easier on the conscience to trick bad people into thinking you've done worse things than it is to do those worse things.
Okay. I will be honest, in the time between seeing you in that armor and that answer, I'd thought some pretty bad things about that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I've been around for some horrid things, unable to intervene. But it's strange, the fact that some of those deeds on the books have my name put to them, despite the fact that I was standing by in horror as someone else did them. It's a weird feeling to go to bed with.
Yeah. It's not a feeling I really ever thought you could live with.
It's you get used to it for the most part, but there are times.
Yeah.
About the only thing that gets me through it is thinking of what it's all for. To bring our home back to bring Karas back to a state of freedom.
You know, it's very stupid. You never told me where you're from. All those years.
Honestly, I probably did tell you where I claim to be from.
Claim?
Well, it's a half-truth, mostly true kind of thing. I was actually born in New Arcadia.
Right. That explains this.
Yeah. My parents fled when I was very young. Too young to even have memories of it. And then we found a home in Navora.
Where I met you.
Mm.
So this is just as much about home for you as it is for me. Okay. So you're doing all this to free Karas, to free anywhere they could go.
Yes.
How did the Concord find you? Or how did you find them?
I decided to take a trip, see what I could glean from the place, see how bad it really was for my own eyes. And someone saw me and noted the look of horror in my face and took me aside and brought me in.
Okay. But you... Okay. Okay, I guess, is there anything you want to know about me? Because I'm processing right now.
What are you doing halfway across the world?
Valid.
That's about the only question I have at this stage.
Well, you've met the reason. It's the party. They came to Bapsa for some reason. I don't know. The Concord scooped them up to do a mission. I was the only one available. We defeated the Lich. Don't know if Jakar told you about that one.
Karthos, yes, he,
Yeah.
Drakar didn't tell me. I saw him, walking around, the other day when he finished reconstituting. It was, pretty, pissed off.
So he is back. That's,
Considering what happened when I tried using the teleportation circle to his tower, it might be a little bit.
That was Anya.
Yes. I think it's functional. Like, Rook and I got through it, but I don't know, it felt off.
Yeah, that sounds like Anya's doing. She definitely used a very weird-looking knife to do it. Yeah, so we did that. They hung around for a bit. They came back and they were all excited about all this new stuff they'd gotten, but... I will admit there was something about Bertie, the little pink one. He seemed a bit off. And it's not going to surprise you, Sam, that I was a bit overconfident and thought I could help a lot more than I really think I have. So I cut everything and went with them to Durham first. Picked up Caius, fought a dragon. You know, that was pretty cool. Never done that before, one off of the bucket list. I know you heard Anya say it, but I did, die. In Durham. Not doing great with that one.
You're here. That's what matters at the end of the day.
See, you say that, you say that, but, you know, do you remember anyone from our year?
Yeah, they drift in and out of memory, but yeah.
You know, have any of them died?
Not to my knowledge, but I haven't exactly been in contact with anyone for the past 4 years.
You are talking to the first person from our year group to die, Sam Visk, so isn't that exciting?
I'm also
Not sure they would have picked me.
I'm also talking clearly to the first person to come back from the dead.
She gets this look on her face. It just... like she isn't really sure what to feel. And she's like... How would you have found out if I'd stayed dead? What would you have felt?
I don't know how I would have found out. At least not anytime soon. But I would have been heartbroken.
And when Anya said it, you heard her, you believed her, and you just kept... I know you had the mission, but... Nothing? Nothing? I had to literally grab you in order to talk to you. Nothing.
You get used to processing things in a second and moving on. And waiting until you have a moment to actually comprehend things. It's not great, I know, but it's true.
Would you have missed me?
Every day.
Have you?
Every day.
God. I don't know how to tell you this, Sam, but I miss when missing you was easy. 'Cause you know, that first year when you said you were traveling, you knew my address. I thought you would... Coming back and missing you was just a normal thing, and then 6 months after that, I missed you in the way I missed someone who I thought didn't care about me anymore. And then I've spent 2 years convinced that, you know, I miss you, but that's just because you left, and it's fine, and that was a friendship we had, and it was important to me. It was the most important thing to me. And you just lose people sometimes. And now you're here, and you're carrying that stupid card in your bracer, and you're here, and you're fighting for us. And what even was that spell with the magic rings? I can't... What? I don't know what to do around you anymore.
The spell...
Sorry.
The spell was Warding Bond. Fairly simple charm. But used... It's a protective ward. At the expense of my own energy.
Wait. So if I got hurt, you got hurt?
In theory, yes.
Why would you do that? Why? I'm an idiot. Why would you do that, Sam? Why? You don't know. You've never seen me fight. You don't...
No, but I've seen me fight. I know I can avoid a hit, and I know I've got plenty of healing that I can use on myself.
She smacks him in the arm. She slaps him in the arm. She's like, you... Oh! Oh! This isn't helping. This isn't... Is it weird seeing me? Is it weird hearing me be called a different name?
A little. But I mean, I don't know. We look at what we studied. We were using different names all the time. That bit's not all that weird in the scheme of things.
I know, but it's been 4 years, right? And very visibly, we've both changed. But I'm not Rivari anymore. Why risk getting hurt for someone you don't know anymore? Why carry around a card from someone who died?
To remember. To remember what it's all for, to anchor me to something outside of that wretched city.
Me.
Of course.
Me. Of course. Don't you have family, friends? Someone who's not... Did I really have that big an impact on you?
My parents have passed.
Oh.
They passed about a month after we graduated.
Sam.
And truth be told, that's why I returned to Karas in the first place, to see where they came from. To see if I had any more family that maybe stayed behind.
Makes sense. Not everyone leaves.
I wish I hadn't.
As someone who grew up in it, I'm not sure you should. Different poisons. Same death.
Roll me an insight check.
Okay. It's not great, but I did just bump my insight. That is a 17.
17. There's, like, you know Sam, there's a kind of anguished look on his face when he's talking about wishing he hadn't, like, sought out family in Karas.
Hey. What's that look for? Come on. You can tell me.
My parents didn't leave Karas because they were some downtrodden folk, as I had been led to believe. They left because they disagreed with the rest of their family, my family.
What about?
It's so many generations removed, but
Sam, you're making me worried.
makes me sick to my stomach to think about, but
Just tell me. I've
Wait.
died. I can't see worse.
Try being descended from Taven.
What?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
No.
No. It's
Really?
It is. It's so many generations, but yeah.
So your family that you came back to were wizards of the
Horrible.
ruins. Heavens.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it made infiltration easier, but yeah, it's horrid.
Zoe question, has Ross ever seen pictures of Taven?
No.
Okay. He's a lich, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay. She is going to take a step closer because she's been kind of a little far back. And she's going to put both hands on Sam's face. And it's very hesitant, the touch. And then she's going to kind of move his face around a little bit and go, well, you look nothing like him.
Not exactly
That's gotta count for
hard.
something.
Not exactly hard when his face is rotted off.
But you know what I mean. And she kind of takes her hands off his face and kind of steps back and goes, "What's with the glove?"
It's just an affectation, really.
Affect. This is Zoe not remembering what the word affectation means.
Just something he does.
Why?
I'm just.
You were never one for aesthetics?
It's not for aesthetics. It's for maneuverability.
With that. What? So the Concord trained you to sword fight?
Yeah.
If he weren't already up, Taven would be rolling in his grave.
Yes, the thought that that one of his descendants might deign to use a weapon rather than raw arcane power.
That was paladin magic out there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Wouldn't have picked you. You weren't particularly into the religious texts. Never really cared for the oh so great classical tales about the gods and their fights.
It's not always about the divine side of it. Sometimes it's dedication to a cause.
So, devotion?
More of a vengeance
Oh.
of sorts. Against those who would step on the downtrodden.
I would not have picked that for you. Shy little Sam Visk, hiding in his scarf, waiting politely for the lecturer to call on him before he gives his analysis. I have missed you.
And are you?
Do you have any other questions? I have a lot, but I'm not sure how much time we have left.
I can't think of anything else. Is there anything I can do to help? Like, I can't stick around, but I can maybe do something?
I don't know. We're kind of... This fight has been a bit of a one-off. We're not really dealing with the Wizards of the Ruins at the moment. We're doing something completely different.
What are you doing?
Well, you know how the Wizards' whole thing is chaos?
One of their things. They're more they're more lawful than they are chaotic, but
You know what I mean. They would
Yes.
kind of like it if a lot of people just stopped existing and that they could reign over the whole thing, doing whatever they choose.
yes.
Yeah, you really would. Sorry, shouldn't bring that up. Well, you know the Shadowfell?
Yeah.
It's kind of, not there at the moment.
I had heard about that.
The Wizards know?
Zelix does, at least. They mentioned something about a disturbance with the Shadowfell.
Okay, so the Wizards know a bit. Okay. Oh, gods above. Well, the reason the Shadowfell is missing, and I don't really know the cause and effect here. Apparently this has something to do with the party, but they won't tell me why. I think for their own sanity at this point. The Shadowfell, Zorthram Tathara is another name for them. They are trying to get, and she points at the ground, here. This plane. To bring back its mother.
I thought Zorthram Tathara was destroyed.
Well, apparently not. Apparently not. That was, very much a thing that did not happen, because it was one of their disciples that, killed me, so... Yeah. So,
So you guys are dealing with that, then?
yeah. Fighting a god.
Okay.
Yeah, I figure you know, it's a big leap from infiltrating galas to fighting a god, but, I've been trying to make it. Actually, that, you know, do you know why Zath pretended to be Rook?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't work with Zath, or didn't work with Zath all too often. But I think it was just that she was caught.
But why us?
Probably because of your connection to Rook. And I don't know whether Rook was with you in Karas at the time of the whole deal with Karthos. There might be something about that as well. I don't know
that...
for certain.
Yeah, that might, yeah. I can't think of why, tactically, we're just a ragtag group of idiots who don't have their shit together.
That's not what I saw out there. That's not what I saw in that orchard. Sure, there were some missteps, but Considering Zath just threw us all to the wind to start with, I think we came out of that pretty well.
Yeah. I'm learning, because I'm not really that combat-minded, that picking up the pieces gets harder every time. Little mistakes now, even if you don't make them again, big ripples, big issues.
Just gotta have the right plan.
We're not that good at planning either.
Sometimes the best plans are the contingency plans.
Like warding bond.
Yeah, things to do when things go south.
I don't get why you were so willing to get hurt for me. Killing Zath, I understand. They could have jeopardized everything, and also they're a Dread Magistrate. It benefits everyone to kill them. I don't... You say it's because you were thinking of me, and it kept you grounded. Well, what... How am I your solid ground?
I can't explain it, Ross.
You are always better with words than me. You could try.
I don't...
You wrote all those songs.
I don't
Write
know.
me a song then.
There are no words.
You're saying a lot of things. I'm struggling to find meaning for them. That doesn't make this a lot weirder than it already is.
It's a weird situation.
Are you... You know what, if you are trying to tell me something here, Sam, you're just gonna have to say it, because I can't... If I think about it too much, I may go insane. So if you're not gonna tell me, then don't tell me, but if you're trying to say something with this bond and the solid ground and the card and the everything, and even just being here when you didn't have to be, say it.
I need to go. They're going to suspect things if I'm gone much longer.
Okay. That's... Yeah. I'll tell the group. Before you... And she cycles through a lot of necklaces, but she's got one that is just a very simple, we would call it a Chinese knot. It's just a simple little series of loops of rope. And she takes that off. And she goes over to him. And she goes, bend down.
He does so.
And she puts it on him. And then just really carefully kind of tucks it under his scarf and then like pats his chest. So, my friend Sarah back home made these for all of us when we started sharing a house, so that we'd always know that no matter where we are connected. I want it back. I would prefer sooner over later, but in person, I want it back. Okay?
Okay.
And she's going to grab his face and pull his face down a bit. She's gonna go up on her toes and kiss his forehead. And then, like, step back and just kind of fall back to her heels, kind of ungracefully, and then just let go.
And he takes out some purple gem-infused chalk and starts drawing on the ground. He says, if you have anything to say, this takes about a minute.
You couldn't have told me that before I gave you the gift?
I didn't know you were going to give it.
Predict me better next time.
Certainly. And hey, if you can manage to take down this god or demigod or whatever it is, maybe your group might be what's needed to bring Karas back to the people.
It's all I can hope for.
I already have a few ideas,
Good, because I've got nothing.
but that can wait. And he puts the last little bit of the symbol.
She hugs him before he can jump through it.
All right. He says, "Until next time."
When the universe wills it. May Senistaka bless you.
And you.
She watches him leave.
And yeah, you watch as he is basically dispersed to your sight by this glowing light from the teleportation circle. And as the light fades, the circle drawn on the ground is no longer there, leaving you alone in the alleyway as it was before you entered it.
She breathes. Rubs her face. Okay. 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 Showtime, kid. And she's going to go back to the party.
And that's where we're going to leave it for this session, or for this episode.
Thanks for listening, y'all.
Sorry, I took all that time.
No, that was very good. That was very good. We got to learn about all of this backstory that you wrote somehow.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.
Everyone.
I have 76 notifications.
Sorry.
Yeah, we chatting.
God.
Oh yeah, 79 I've got.
Wow.
Okay, I'm all back with no talk with us, we Angie.
Oh yeah, no, there is so much to unpack in the chat.